now we're going to do more setup, but before that, given that we have been chatting for a while with Claude, it might make sense to show you something. So when you feel like you have spoken to it for a lot of time, usually you're either going to get here status that your context is almost full and you need to summarize it by compacting the conversation, or after you feel like you have accomplished enough, you can invoke the following command, which is compact. Usually it's better for you to do it rather than for Claude to automatically do it for you, because you can also say what kind of information from this history you would like to put emphasis on remembering. So you can say, I want to remember all of the high level information and especially the current setup. Now, when you say that, it's going to basically create a summarization of all of the previous conversation, and it's going to clear the context. So when you write the next prompt, it's still going to know what you have done up to now, but it's going to have just a summary, and that's for it to work better, because with the time the amount of information in the chat increases, and for it to work well you need to compact. So let me do that. The other thing that you can do is you can also create a new you can open a new session directly. For example, if you click here, we are going to create another command prompt, but have in mind this is actually, we created Windows PowerShell, and for some reason I haven't configured it properly. So if I write Claude here, it's not going to work. It's going to say that there is an error. So you need to actually create a new command prompt instead. And when you say Claude, now it's going to run successfully. Give it a moment. Yeah. So let's come back here. It's still compacting the conversation. The other thing that you can also do is, just give me a moment and I'm going to show you. You can also say, I want to clear the conversation. This is going to clear everything, and it's also going to create a new chat, or at least that's how it was working before. Let me see if it's still working like that. Okay, so we've created a summary of everything. Now let me clear the chat. Now everything's clear. So what we can do now is, hey, how are you today? Okay, it's good. And what we can also do is we can say, you know what, I want to return to a previous conversation. So I can say I want to resume, and I can go back to okay, in our previous conversations, apparently we have only this one. So it did not create a new conversation. Instead, it just kind of like it continued in this one. Okay. Can we see what we did? Yes, we can still see everything we have done. Okay, what else should I show you which is interesting? Okay, maybe another thing that might make sense to show you is the command init. So after you have been coding for a while, or if you open the project of another friend of yours, maybe a colleague, it's always good to start everything with init. Now, if you think about it, what we did in the very beginning is we actually created the Claude MD file ourselves, where I gave you some kind of structure before we start. But if you open an already existing project, you may actually you may actually need to create a new Claude MD, which is based on the information in the repository, in this like code that you already opened and which is kind of like created. And the reason for that is to again allow the model to work better. What it's going to do is internally it's going to create agents which are going to scan the project, and they're going to create a summary of it. So let's try it out here. See how it's going through the files and through the directory, and most likely what's going to happen right now is it's going to find out that there is already a Claude MD file, and it may decide to update it. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, okay, so it will actually improve it. See, it added the information. Okay, so let's, okay, it's updated and we have it all. Now let's continue with the setup actually that I promised. So first of all, if you do not have any API keys, you can simply go to platform.claude.com, not .ai as I told you in the previous video, /settings/keys. And if you go there, you would be able to create a key, and it would allow you to copy it once, and afterwards you wouldn't be able to see it. So if you, for example, forgot what's the full key, you would need to delete the previous one, or maybe leave it but create a new one and copy the key. So then you would be able to put it here like in Claude, and it's going to use it for your projects to implement AI capabilities. Then the next thing you need to do is you need to also go to vercel.com, and you can directly log in with your Google account or with some of your other social media, and we're going to use that to deploy the application, basically to allow for people to open it directly through a link. And the final thing that you also need is you need to create a registration on GitHub. So again, I think you can probably log in with Google. I'm not sure, but if not, you can just create. You can simply really create a registration as you would normally do in a website, and you're going to have it running. Now, what I want to do is I want to download all the things that we need. So what I'm going to say is, can you download Vercel CLI for me? So that's one of the things we need. And in the meantime, while we're waiting for this, we're also going to download GitHub CLI. Okay, let's download this. Download for Windows. Okay, so while we're installing Vercel CLI, which is a command line interface, let's do the same for GitHub. Yes, continue. Installation on Mac is going to be very similar, but I suppose it might be even easier. So let me see whether here we have also Mac. Ideally, you're going to be able to download a package file, and from there you would be able to just, install it. And usually it's on Mac installation is more straightforward than on Windows. So I think we have it ready. Now, let's see where we are with Vercel. Okay. Apparently it's taking more time than needed. And in the meantime, what I'm going to do is, okay, actually, is it still running? It is still running. Apparently it's a lot of things. Okay, so let me open a new tab. Okay, so I'm going to go into tutorial, into module 4. I'm going to invoke Claude, and let's see. Now I'm going to use Claude to help me set up GitHub CLI. But my laptop is extra slow, so, and this is like a virtual machine, so it takes more time. Okay, now what I want to do is, can you help me so is it really working? Can you help me set up GitHub CLI, which I already installed, so that we can create a repository that we are going to use with Vercel. Okay. Okay, apparently it gave up on installing globally Vercel, and now it's trying an alternative path. So let's see what happens here. In the meantime, we're running the setting up of GitHub CLI. Okay, so now we have reached the authentication. Okay, so we may need to actually use this command by ourselves. Let me do it. Okay, so okay, we use GitHub. Let's use HTTPS. Yes. Log in with browser. Okay. Let me copy this thing then. Continue. Okay. Continue. And we want to authorize. Good, we're done. Now, let's see where we are with Vercel first. Because apparently it's a bit stuck there. Okay, it worked. So now let's do the following. I did that. Can you help me create a public repository for the project we just built? I have a feeling it's going to be easier to make it with the public repository, though you can also create a private one. But before that, maybe just ask a question. Would you be able to set up a deployment from a private GitHub repository directly from here, or it would be easier if we do it with the public one? Also, can you help me log into my Vercel account from here? Okay. As you can see, you can do a lot of stuff from here. It's like very powerful because it just executes commands from here, and you don't really need to do much. So let me do it from here. Let me do Vercel login. Okay. Apparently I had to do it from the command prompt. So yeah, Windows PowerShell needs different configuration. Okay, we want to allow. So given that we can also create a private repository, let's do it, because I feel like most of the accountants that build things would like their code to be private. So that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, yes, install the Vercel plugin. Perfect, cool. Now, let's do the following. Okay, Flux analysis dashboard. Now it's creating a repository, which means that what's going to happen is basically the local versioning is going to go to a remote version on GitHub. So if you want to be extra safe, this means that every time you do local changes and then checkpoints, you can also push these checkpoints to go to a remote version, so that, you know, if something goes wrong with your MacBook or laptop, you can quickly go back to your to the working version. Okay, we have this. Now, can you help me deploy on Vercel note that I have already authenticated, and I even installed a plugin. So to make it easier for it, I'm just going to say that I installed this plugin over here. Just for the sake of it, you know, giving it more context about the things we did. Okay. So let's see what exactly it uploaded, because at the same time it also failed to read the repository. That's because it's missing a plugin. But let me see what we have right now. Maybe it managed to actually achieve that through directly uploading it from the local version. Let's see. So did you manage to actually upload it? How did you do it without the repo? Oh, I did manage to upload it actually. Okay, perfect. So congrats, now you have like a link that you can just visit and it's going to have this thing working. Now the only thing we need to finish is we need to also add a variable key. So we need to do that in order to have the AI capabilities running. Now, okay, let me just check for the sake of it what exactly it did. To enable auto deploys on every git push, you want to, so right now, yes, so right now we didn't use git, but it still managed to upload it. Now, if you want to make it kind of like automatic, so that whenever you create a checkpoint and you push that checkpoint to your GitHub repository, and then that automatically lands here, so that you have both the versioning and also the correct link, you can connect Vercel and GitHub, and you will be able to achieve that. Now, okay, so first of all, I want to, can you help me add the key? Execute the command for me and just extract the key from the environment file. Okay, so let's see. Now, something important here is that the way we have built the AI functionality is not in the most secure way possible. That's probably going to be too many details. The idea, as I mentioned, is not to build enterprise applications, but usually you would not save the application key in the environment key in the way that I'm currently doing it here. You would create a more complex structure of your application, and it's going to not use Vite, it's going to use, for example, Next.js. Because right now, another person viewing your URL would be able to, is smart enough, extract the API key. So for the sake of experimenting and testing, you can go with that approach. If you do not want to expose your key, you can simply just remove the AI capabilities from the platform. And in a later course where we handle more advanced use cases, we are going to build Next.js applications instead of Vite applications. So these are just different frameworks in a way. Okay, so yes, we want to proceed. Now actually, I'm interested to see how easy it would be to just also do the GitHub integration. Let's see. Okay. I think the command prompt just broke in a way, So let's see. In the meantime, I'm going to connect with GitHub. So I want to use add GitHub account, and I want to use my personal GitHub account. So this one. And I want to give it permission for all repos. So, okay. And I'm going to switch to Dakov. And then I'm going to connect with this one. Okay, so now it should be properly connected. The deployment is live, and actually, wait. It still takes time. So here you can see more information about the specific application we have deployed. You can see even like the main links. So when ready, we would be able to open the link again, and it's going to have a version where you can also use the AI capabilities. From here you can actually see that it's even connected to the checkpoints in your Git. So here you can see actually the last checkpoints. Okay, now it's successfully loaded, and we can, I think we actually already have it. Let me just copy the link. We can load the sample data, and we can say what accounts have the largest unvariable variances. Okay, worked successfully. And it's even live. Okay, so that was the last part of this course, and expect other more advanced courses or similar level in the next few weeks. Thank you.